Alright, welcome back to another little review of my little channel here I have on YouTube. So today's episode I'm going to be reviewing Season 5, Episode 16 of The Walking Dead. I know it's been, I don't know how long now since this episode's been out, but truthfully, I actually just watched it maybe an hour or two ago. And yeah, let's get right into it. The reason why I didn't watch it, maybe because, I don't know, because I don't really like the Walking Dead TV show, but, you know, I like to see what's going on, because my friends watch it and everything like that, and I'm surprised they didn't spoil anything for me. But anyways, let's get right into it. So, it starts out with Morgan, of course. Morgan's still trying to get to DC because he found a map randomly in a church that said Rick on it, so he's like, maybe I know this Rick, because I remember Rick from back home. So he's off to DC, and he's just camping out for a little bit, and somebody comes up to him with a W on his face, like a cut in. There's a little scratch on my head, I guess. But anyways, he comes up, and they start talking like normal stuff. Then the guy with the W, which means wolves, or the wolves. And there's a little backstory about that. I might give another review about it, but anyways. So, when Morgan's about to sip his coffee that he made up, the guy with the the W on his head, he's like, "Don't drink that. I don't want that because you're gonna be dead, and I want every last drop that you have." Morgan's like, "Fine, okay, you can have it." And then the guy's like, "I want you dead too." Then Morgan's like, "Dang, I'm not gonna let you do that." Somebody comes up behind him, tries to kill him by stabbing him in the back. Of course, Morgan's not going to do this because he's a ninja now, apparently. He gets up, and they all go into a fight. Of course, Morgan wins, and he pretty much pushes him in a car that he was sleeping in there for the night, and he takes his lucky rabbit foot, apparently he has. So, that's pretty much how this episode starts off. The next part is just Ramley, Daryl, and Aaron. Of course, we see them outside, so they have to have like a little picture of them going off. And then we start off with Rick. Rick, last time, I'm pretty sure, had a big fight with Pete, which I told everybody that's going to happen. And I don't know if anybody believes me or whatever. But anyways, he wakes up, Moshona and him talk, then Carol, Glenn, and Abraham come in. Pretty much they all talk to him, and Carol's acting dumb like, "How could you have a gun in here, blah blah blah, where did you even get the gun in the first place?" Yeah, we know Carol actually has the guns and everything like that. So, they leave, and then we get to Maggie, Diana, and Reg, Diana's husband, and back and forth. But they talk for a bit, pretty much saying how you shouldn't do this to Rick. Rick was only protecting everybody in our group and everything like that. And then we go to Sasha. Sasha at this point is my least favorite character. Of course, Gabriel is as well. But we see Sasha just pick up some zombie body, or walker bodies, whatever you want to call them. Pretty much puts them on a cart, takes them over to a hole, which looks like they're digging holes instead of burning the zombies, and pretty much burying them instead of, like I said, putting them on fire. So she was just about to take the zombie in, or the walker, into the hole, and she's like, let me lay down for a second. At this point, I'm thinking that Sasha wants to die. Because she feels so dead inside that she feels like one of the walkers. And she just wants to lay down, just probably wants to see what it feels like to be dead. So, after that, we go to, let me see here, Daryl and Aaron. Of course, they talk for a bit. And then we go back to Rick, Carol. Of course, Carol's not going to be acting dumb at this point because they're alone. So, of course, she gives him a gun, Rick a gun, and they talk for a bit, of course, just because they want to know, like, what's going on, what's their next move, and everything like that. Then we get to Daryl sees somebody in a red poncho, and they follow him. They actually just go, because, of course, he's pretty obvious that he has a red poncho on, and he's like, let's go see where that guy goes. And then we go back to Rick. Rick actually at this point gets out of his little jail that he's in and everything like that, and he's now roaming the community. Of course, everybody's staring at him because they don't know what he's going to do next. They don't know what he's going to do to anybody in the group at this point, or the community. So, of course, we go to Glenn and Maggie. They talk. Glenn sees Nick climbing out of the gate, and of course he's going to follow him, so that's probably what's going to happen next. I already know what's going to happen, so I'm just saying that. But anyways, we go to Father Gabriel. Gabriel, at this point, he just walks out of the gate. He's like, I'm going for a walk, so let me out. He just walks out of the gate. They close the gate behind him. Of course he has no weapon because he's a priest, what they call him at this point. Of course, we go to Rick goes back to his son, Carl, and they talk for a bit, saying just because, you know, he just wants to know what's going on with his father at this point and everything like that. And now, this is a big point. Daryl and Aaron find a food factory. They're like, oh man, you know, we could find that person with just to bring back to the community, or we can bring back food, which is way more better than people. So they're like, let's go in and find out what's going on. They do, and they kill some walkers at the gate, and they open up the gate, walk in. Of course, it's a trap, and I don't know how many people I heard this, but when I first heard the TV show came out, or this episode came out, there was a big chain kill where Daryl came out and he killed 3 walkers with a 1 chain throw. And I'm like, what? How did he do that? And then they're like, because he swung it and he smashed off their heads. When I watched this actual TV show, or this episode, I was like, what is going on here? I have no idea how strong was he doing this, because I don't think you can actually, yourself or me, like, go strong enough where you can knock somebody's head off with 1 chain, or the muscle, or anything like that, because this is supposed to be real life and everything like that. It's just a small pet peeve that I have, and all that, like that. Here we go. Alright, then Daryl and Aaron actually are trapped in a car, and they're finding what to do. They're like, maybe we should cover up the windows. They won't recognize us if we're in here. So, they find a note, and it says, trapped, bad people coming, don't stay. And, of course, they're trapped in a car, and they're looking at this note, and they're like, whoa, what should we do? We gotta find our way out of here. And then, we go back to, Pete and Carol. There was a little teaser that I seen a while ago, and it's pretty much Carol threatening Pete to look after Tara, because Tara's in, like, some sort of a coma. She's still, sleeping or whatever from the last few episodes ago. Glenn, of course, is following Nick. Glenn gets shot by Nick, and I'm pretty sure it's up in the shoulder blade. Not that bad. He just, because we see Nick looks over the hill that Glenn was standing over, and Glenn's gone. So, of course, Nick's trying to find Glenn at this point. Rick talks to Jesse, and it's just small talk, not that interesting. Daryl and Aaron talk, not that interesting again. Morgan comes to help. At this point, of course, like I said, Darren and Aaron was just talking about how they're getting out of this situation, how one of them's sacrificing and whatever, and Morgan comes in and smashes one of the zombies on the head and opens up the door. They all get out of the gate, they lock up the gate, and they're like, hey, Morgan, thanks for the help, but are you a bad person? Because of the note and everything like that. So, my laptop just went down for a second. So, of course, they do that, and, oh my god, we have to see this part where they had the map that Rick had a little bit ago in Season 5, in, like, the earlier episodes where he had the map, and he wrote his name down and everything. Well, Abraham wrote Rick's name down and everything like that, and for the route to DC. And, of course, Daryl's, like, looking at Morgan like, whoa, how did you get this? Maybe we should tell him that there's actually Rick in our camp. So, of course, it's like a big plot, like, oh man, out of anybody that he's seen or whatever, it just happened at that just point in time. I just put in my notes, say, come on, like, really? And then we go to Gabe finds a walker, Gabriel finds a walker, and he's like, I want to die, kill me. Of course, the walker dies from Gabriel. Gabriel kills him. So, it's not that big of a deal. He cries, of course, because Gabriel is like some wimp that he wants to die, but he doesn't want to die at the same time, because he knows God or whatever is real, and he thinks this is hell. Abraham comes and sees Tara, because, of course, like I said, Tara was knocked out. Rosita wakes up Eugene. Eugene, of course, they really didn't talk after Abraham beat the crap out of him. So, of course, they do that. They talk for a bit, and then we see Gabe. Gabe comes back. He talks to a random person in the camp, and the buddy's like, okay, I'll see you later, maybe, because I really need to talk to you and whatnot, because you're the father. I can trust you. And he's like to Gabe, close up the gate behind you, because I trust you. He walks off. The person. Gabriel's like, I don't like this group. He like closes the gate behind him, but he doesn't lock it or anything. He's like, he just leaves it open. I'm like, come on, really? Why do we even have you? And yeah, so Gabriel does not close the gate. Let me see here. Does not close the gate. Then we go back to Glenn and Nick. Glenn and Nick, of course, are fighting at this point. Walker comes and gets on top of Glenn. Nick, of course, runs. We go back to Michonne and Rick. They're talking. Then Rick thinks that, well, let's see here. Thinks of Morgan. Oh, of course we need Morgan. Of course we need Morgan. More of Morgan in this episode. So Rick's thinking of the time that he met Morgan, and Morgan's voice is like overlapping of the thoughts of Rick. Of that. Rick finds the gate open and with some blood, so of course he thinks that there's walkers around. Gabriel finds Sasha inside of his church. Then I actually wrote down F Gabriel, because he was a really big dick to Sasha and everything like that. The leader talks to the group. Nick is walking in the woods alone. Rick running around the community. Sasha and Gabriel talk. Gabe is a-hole. I'm just reading my notes right now because I'm just getting right over this. Rick is still running around and finds some walkers. Michonne talks to the group. What I mean about the people talking about it in the group, like I'm pretty sure Dana actually talked about it in the group. Like they actually sat down everybody in the community. Like, what should we do about this big situation with Rick and Pete? Like, should we kick them out, or what should we do in this point of view? So, of course, Michonne talks to the group saying, like, hey, we shouldn't really kick Rick out of the group. Of course, when, like I said, Rick found some walkers, he, of course, kills them. He kills 3 at this point. Sasha is fighting Gabe because Gabriel was being a real big dick to Sasha, and Sasha really didn't like it. Like, what I mean by being a really big dick is that Sasha was saying, I need your help, Gabriel, and Gabriel's like, maybe you should be dead, and everybody else in this group should be dead of what you did. Bob was mutilated because of you, and everything like that, saying like it was all Sasha's fault and everything like that. Glenn hits Nick and pretty much drags him back to the camp. We don't see him actually get to the camp in this episode, but I'm guessing next episode we'll find him. Carol talks to the group, saying that they shouldn't kick out Rick. Rick again, pretty much saying he's fighting more walkers and everything like that. Glenn fights Nick some more. Abraham talks to the group pretty much again, saying how they shouldn't kick out Rick and everything like that. Rick shoots a walker in the face, like jamming his gun into like the soft part of the jaw, making it pretty much like a silencer at that point. Rick shoots the people. The wolves group goes to the trap. They're like looking at it. They're like, "Wow, somebody set off our trap." Alright, it's cut in a few parts because you'll find the cutting and everything like that. It's just for me editing. I say that every time. We go back to Maggie. Maggie's talking to the whole group now, saying like, well, we shouldn't kick him out. Glenn talks to Nick. I just put down Gabe. I'm guessing Gabe was like down in the dirt or whatever. And now we see the wolves reset the trap. They press a button. Big noises and lights go off, and they go into the trailers that they were all set up in, and yeah, they just shut down this stuff, shut the places down. Person talks to the group saying how Rick should leave. Rick comes in with a walker pretty much over his shoulder. He bursts it down and he says, "The gate was open." And the person's like, "I left Gabe in charge to close the gate," because, like I said a little bit ago, he trusted Gabriel. Glenn and Nick talk again. Glenn does not shoot. Like, he was pointing a gun at Nick's head, saying all this crap like, "It was your fault that this person died, Noah died," and everything like that. And he does not shoot, because Glenn is actually a really good character, and he knows the reason why somebody should die when somebody shouldn't die. So he doesn't shoot. Maggie stops Sasha because they're like wondering like, where's Gabriel? So of course Sasha was about to shoot Gabriel, and Maggie comes in and like, "What are you doing?" Stops the gun, everything like that. And there we go. Sasha is stopped. Gabriel talks, of course, saying, "Why did you do that? I want to die." Rick tells the people about the gate was open and talks some more. Pete comes in and kills Reg, or R-E-G, at the, Diana's husband. How I feel about this is that, wow, really? You have to kill somebody for Diana to really see Rick's way? But anyways, Reg's dead, and Diana's tells to Rick, kill him. He shouldn't live anymore. Of course, he was a big surgeon and everything like that a little bit ago. But, it's to Rick kill him. Rick, of course, kills Pete, and Morgan comes in, and he's like, "Rick?" Because every time that we've seen Rick and Morgan together, of course, Rick was this innocent guy, and Morgan's coming in "What are you doing, Rick?" Yeah, so that's a little fun part. And then we see, at the very end, Rayon and Kerr, wolves not far, saying that they're not far away, and this and that. And that was the whole episode. I have my laptop off the side now. So what do I think of the season finale of Season 5? It was a lot of filler, and there's not really big that happens. That Glenn and Nick's going to have a big issue or a big fight. That Pete's going to get out of his house and kill somebody, or there's going to be some big event that Rick's going to kill him. Gabriel, of course, we see him go out, he's this crazy guy thinking that everything's hell. I don't know if he's going to survive next season, or if he's going to get... I'm pretty sure he might get killed or put in jail somehow with the group, because everybody knows at this point that Gabriel is Gabriel opened up the gate and everything like that. And yeah, of course, the only real interesting point of this episode was the wolves. We found out why there's W's in people's heads and everything like that. So there we go. That's my little thing. I'm gonna make another video right now, probably about my whole thoughts of Season 5. So, there you go. I'll see you until next time.